System application. The mobile oil unit is designed for comprehensive purification of turbine oils, removing water and particulate matter. Principle of operation. The vacuum pump creates vacuum in the vacuum chamber. Vacuum draws the oil into the chamber. The oil passes from the inlet line through the mesh filter, the heater, electromagnetic valves, and into the vacuum chamber. In the chamber, the oil flows from the distribution device through polypropylene rings. When the oil flows down through the rings, it forms a very thin film on the surface of the rings. Vacuum reduces the partial pressure of water, causing rapid evaporation. Moisture passes through the oil trap and the vacuum pump into the condensation vessel, where it accumulates for subsequent disposal. Processed oil accumulates in the bottom of the vacuum chamber. After filling of the vacuum chamber, the output pump starts and expels the oil from the unit through fine filters and the outlet line. Vacuum and pressure gauge M1 indicates vacuum or pressure at the unit's inlet. Vacuum and pressure gauge M2 indicates vacuum in the vacuum system. Vacuum and pressure gauge M3 indicates pressure before the fine filters. Vacuum and pressure gauge M4 indicates pressure at the unit's outlet. Unit design. The unit is a portable metal cabinet which contains 1. A control cabinet, 2. An oil output pump, 3. An oil trap, 4. A vacuum pump, 5. A vacuum chamber, 6. A filter section, 7. A stream heater, and 8. A condensation vessel. All components and assemblies are connected by piping with valves. 3 pressure and vacuum gauges and 1 vacuum meter are installed in the unit for visual control of pressure and vacuum. Preparation for operation. The unit must be sufficiently lit and installed on a flat horizontal surface so as to ensure unobstructed access to the controls. Ground the unit by connecting the grounding device with the unit's grounding bolt with a copper wire. Check that all valves are shut. The emergency stop button on the control cabinet must be released. Check oil level in the vacuum pump. If necessary, add vacuum oil. Open the control cabinet. Connect power to the unit using a 4-wire cable. Turn on automatic switch F2. Close the control cabinet. Turn the power handle on the control cabinet to the on position. Correct phasing is indicated by the green light on the phase control relay and the phasing light on the front panel of the control cabinet. If the power light is on while the phasing light is not, check phase control relay settings and, if necessary, swap connections of phases on the input terminals of the phase connector. Turn the power connector handle on to the on position. Connect the contaminated oil tank with the unit's inlet and connect the unit's outlet with the clean oil tank or with the contaminated oil tank if the oil is to be purified in cycles. If the unit is located indoors, ensure the vacuum pump exhaust is led outside through a hose. Safety. During operation, some parts of the unit will become hot. Such locations are marked with the hot surface signs. Always wear gloves when servicing the unit. During the operation, the heaters are energized. Removing the cover or operation with the cover removed is prohibited. The heater cover is marked with the electrical shock hazard label. Valves. MV1 is the inlet valve. MV2, the service valve. MV3 is the outlet valve. MV4 is the internal oil circulation valve. MV5 is the vacuum system valve. Valves MV6, MV7, and MV8 are drain valves. MV9 is a sampling valve. MV10 is a drain valve. MV11 is an air inlet outlet valve. MV12 is also an air inlet outlet valve. MV13 and MV14 are drain valves, and MV15 is an air inlet valve. Operation of the unit. Operating the unit in the drying and filtration mode. 1. Set the thermostat to the 70°C mark. 2. Power the unit by turning the power handle to the on position. Power and phasing lights must be on. 3. Start the vacuum pump by pressing the vacuum pump button. 4. Open valves MV1, MV3, and MV5. The unit will start to fill with oil. 5. Start the output pump by pressing the outlet pump button. 6. Engage the heater by pressing the heating button. When the oil temperature is less than 50 degrees Celsius, bubbles may be observed in the vacuum chamber sight tube. 7. Control the vacuum in the system as indicated by the indications of the operation vacuum gauge. If the oil is highly contaminated, vacuum may cause foaming of the oil. In this case, air will enter the unit through the air inlet electromagnetic valve, reducing vacuum in the system. In this case, process the oil in several cycles. With every cycle, foaming will diminish and the drying process will increase its efficiency. To reduce foaming and the frequency of the air inlet valve opening, slightly open valve MV15, thus reducing vacuum in the chamber. This, however, will reduce the unit's processing rate. 8. Partially close valve MV3, raising the outlet pressure to 1.4 bars. The unit's processing rate will stabilize. Terminating the operation. 1. Disengage the heater by pressing the heating button about 5 to 10 minutes before shutting down the unit to prevent overheating of oil in the heater chamber. 2. Stop the vacuum pump by pressing the vacuum pump button. 3. After the outlet pump drive stops, disengage the pump by pressing the outlet pump button. 4. Close valves MV1, MV3, and MV5. 5. Turn the power handle to the off position. Operating the unit in closed circuit mode for drying and filtration. 1. Set the thermostat to the 70 degrees Celsius mark. 2. Power the unit by turning the power handle to the on position. Power and phasing lights must be on. Start the vacuum pump by pressing the vacuum pump button. Open valves MV1, MV4, and MV5. The unit will start to fill with oil. 5. Start the output pump by pressing the outlet pump button. 6. Engage the heater by pressing the heating button. When the oil temperature is less than 50 degrees Celsius, bubbles may be observed in the vacuum chamber sight tube. 7. Carefully and partially open air inlet valves MV11 and MV12 on the fine filters. Do not allow oil to splash out. After the filters are filled with oil, close valves MV11 and MV12. 8. When the oil level in the vacuum chamber reaches the mid-level sensor, close valve MV1. The light on the sensor shows that the sensor is engaged. 9. The unit will continue to operate automatically, circulating the oil inside. Terminating the operation. 1. Disengage the heater by pressing the heating button about 5 to 10 minutes before shutting down of the unit to prevent overheating of oil in the heater chamber. 2. Stop the vacuum pump by pressing the vacuum pump button. 3. Close valve MV4 and open valves MV2 and MV3. 4. After the outlet pump drive stops, disengage the pump by pressing the outlet pump button. 5. Close valves MV2, MV3, and MV5. 6. Turn the power handle to the off position.